Well, it's NBA Finals, and I got Celtics. Not to give it away too quickly, but just to let y'all know I got the Celtics. And here's why. But I also want to make sure that it's known that if the Mavericks win, I am not going to be surprised. If I had to put my money on it, I'd pick the Celtics. But the Mavericks have a chance because when you have Luka Doncic on your team, you have a chance. But the path to the Celtics winning to me is a little bit easier, and here's why. So, team building, right? You have Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, KP, Holiday, White, and they've all kind of shown up throughout the playoffs in different times. Like, it's not that they're all one person necessarily off. When Tatum was kind of down the first like 6 games of the playoffs, White was there picking him up. Holiday was there picking him up. And at the end of the day, playoff teams, although they haven't been necessarily battle tested this year, we know they've been battle tested other years. It's not like they're not like the team's like not going to lose because they haven't played necessarily great competition. Do you know how many playoff games Jason Tatum has played and Jaylen Brown has played during this era? It's not like they're just like bad at basketball because we didn't play this specific team in this specific week. Because when it's been years of consistent Eastern Conference Finals trips, of finals trips, playing LeBron, playing Curry, that like they have like mileage on them to the point in which I think they have enough experience to win. But I don't think experience is an issue for the Mavericks because Kyrie has been there. But for the other guys that haven't been there, I don't see their production dropping. They've been in clutch situations so far, and I don't see anything changing. Now, what it is, I think they have the personnel. The Celtics have personnel to kind of spread the Mavs out to the point where Lively and Gafford don't have enough rim protection, opening the lane for Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum to drive. I mean, if Jason Tatum wants to be aggressive and kind of play with a Jaylen Brown mindset, I think this could be over in like 5 because Jason Tatum, when he's on, he's on. It's not like he's not like bona fide. If y'all remember, when he dropped 46 against Milwaukee, when he dropped 50 against Philly, he has those like on and off games, but when he's on, he's on. So if he really puts his mind to it, I really think that this could be over quick. But in the same time, if Luka puts his mind to it and just goes off, and Kyrie consistently goes off, because I know he had like 9-point outings, 11-point outings where he was still contributing, but he has to score a lot. You know, it's not like we're gonna rely on Jaden Hardy 10 off the bench so that Kyrie can drop 9 and it can be okay. Nah, Kyrie has to know that like he's definitely the second option, which we all know, but he has to be consistent. And I see, he has a little bit of motivation. TD Garden, I see him doing very well, especially in games 1 and 2. But in terms of the Celtics, when Porzingis is kind of out at the 3-point line, I don't know how they're really gonna be stopped. I mean, they have great help defense sitting in the gaps, but they have shooters. The Celtics have shooters. They can bring Pritchard. They can bring Horford off the bench. So, like, that is kind of going to be a big conundrum, and I see that as the first adjustment of the first, like, game 2, game 3. If you see some sort of change, maybe they go into a zone, whatever they end up doing to kind of to adjust that first initial problem, that's, like, kind of the first adjustment I see. And it's going to be a battle of adjustments between Mazzulla and Kidd, but I don't think coaching will be the reason why any of these teams lose the finals. It'll just be performance, in my opinion. And for the Mavericks, Luka played really, really, really well against like kind of all the defenders. Jaylen Brown is probably the primary defender on him in this series, but when he sees White, it's baby food in the paint. When he sees Holiday, it's baby food in the paint. Tatum gives a little jab on him, and then Porzingis. So, and the Celtics don't really blitz at all season. They haven't blitzed. So I'm really interested to see, because that's kind of adjustment from the other side. If Luka is killing you when you switch onto a guard or onto Porzingis, do you start firing on the ball screens? Do you make sure that Brown and Tatum are on him all the time? Like, that's a really good question in my opinion, and I really want to see how that chess match goes into. There's so many games inside the game, So I'm excited to see how that goes. And in terms of for how long, I think it's going to be Celtics in 6. Mavericks, if the Mavericks win, they'll probably win in 7. But I got Celtics in 6, and look for the role players of the Celtics. If they are shooting great, it's wraps. But if there's kind of iffy shooting and they go on these droughts and they lose a game by like 20 or 30, Luka has kind of a Game 7 Phoenix, Game 5 Minnesota type of outing. I mean, for their like mental psyche, they need to play well, especially in the beginning. So there's so many different ways I think this could go. I'm just happy to enjoy it, and I'll tap in with y'all after game one.